Well, so this is the Baby Delight that I picked up at Michael's not all that long ago. And I'm doing a Creating with Christi video this Saturday, and I'm not sure what order I'm going to be doing each item in, so I didn't want to do an introduction, but this is part of it, and I'll probably do them out of order. Or I mean upload them out of order. So I had started a sweater in this, and there's two colors. So there's actually this pink, and then there's this what is this, like the variegated, and they're calling this one Blossom. Now, this Baby Delight is $11.99 a skein for 557 yards. Believe that one. That's a lot of money. Now, of course, I waited till they went on sale. I buy one, get one for half price or something like that. But I did get two of each of these colors, and that was pretty much all the colors that had enough to get two of each that went together. There was one blue, and then there was one, you know. So anyway, I started a sweater in this, in crochet, didn't like it, and then I went ahead and started a sweater in this in knitting, and it is coming out nice. I will show it later, after I show you the trial and error here. So what I'm doing is trying to make different hats, different sizes, and come out with a favorite eventually. So I've been going around and checking out different hat patterns just to try them, you know, try different ones. And this one is free. I believe this was from Ravelry, called the Prince Archie Hat. And I am not going to be doing these pom-poms, but it says to use 4mm needles, and there are 4 sizes here: 64, 80, 96, 112, for 0 to 3 to 1 to 3 years. So went ahead and pulled out the 4mm of the biggest of the 10-inch that I have. These are the needles I got from, yeah, of course I can't remember now. Well, the pack, it's the pack I got for Christmas. It's the green package from, I don't remember. Anyway, it's not important. It's not important at all. The pattern is what's important. You can tell I just got up, huh? I have a little bit of coffee started. I'm not quite awake yet. But you know, you want to just run right out and pick something up and do it. So my videos that I do with this is kind of like spend my Saturday working on like 5 or 6 things, and while I work on them, I film a little bit of it. So I'm trying to get better at lining everything up, staying in camera. It's you know, you have to practice it. You have to do it. You can't expect to do it right the first time, I guess. But anyway, so the ribbing is 2 knit, 2 purl. That is the beginning of round. As you can tell, it's lined up with the tail. And I did the 64 stitches. And it's knit 2, purl 2 for 10 rows. And if you count your stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 rows done. And I just thought, well, let's try this out. Now, I don't know whether or not I'm going to put this hat with the sweater that I'm making. But the plan is that they all match. So I had done the ribbing in the solid pink on the sweater, so I'm going to change to the variegated on after 10 rows of this hat. And our baby along has started, and I thought, well, it's a perfect time to just try some of these other patterns out, because I really like the baby outfits knitted. So we'll see if I like this hat or not. To me, it looks like it's going to be too small with the 64. But I'm a very loose knitter, so I thought, don't start right out with too big, because I've did that before. Hat comes out way too big, and then it stretches on top of it. So now you're like making a 2 or 3 year old hat for a newborn size. So anyway, my point of this is I'm using exactly the tools that it tells me to, and I still come out way too big. So that's why I say it's trial and error, because I just want one that's going to be like about 0 to 3 months. So, and let's see what else I'm going to work on today. I'm going to bring out some of my long time whips that I work on every now and again. And maybe I'll even do a regular addictions video today. That should be fun. Tomorrow we are going to do another make along on the live, so I probably will get ready for that, pulling out some stuff. I want to do a lovey to match this outfit, so I'll probably do that, pull out a bear that has some pink on it or something like that that'll match. And we'll definitely do an update today on the square blanket. That'll be a little bit later. Because with that one, I usually do some squares up and then show them that an update is like how many I've done, and then do one. So we'll see which ones I'll pick out for that today. Definitely going to do that update. And I don't know, just spend the whole Saturday creating, because sometimes I just decide, oh yeah, I'm going to be home, you know, alone. I can walk back and forth in Christi's closet and film a section, and then go out and do something else, then come back and film something else, and then later on just pile them all together, splice them all together, whatever you want to call it, and upload them. So I hope you guys, I know there's a bunch of you that yes, you do enjoy this. But I hope that you would play it from beginning to end, of course, but also play it while you're just sitting, relaxing, you know, just to see if it's the type of video that you would want. Some people don't watch it at all because they know that it's not going to have a giveaway in it or something like that. And yeah, that's why I do all kinds of different ones. So let's see, that's row number 6 done. So I have 4 more rows of this. And you know, it may end up being something that will turn out to be what I want. All right, well, I guess I'll stop this one and bring something else out. I'm going to go get the sweater that this matches, or that this is going to be made to match, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I am back. It has only been a minute, and as you can see, this is the same yarn, the Baby Delight. I don't think that I told you the content of this yarn. It's a 3 light, and it has let's move it around here and check it out. Where does it say that? 70% acrylic, 30% polyamide. Very, very soft. Very impressed. This is very similar to some other yarns that I've been using lately. So anyway, I didn't like the way it was working up in crochet, so I went ahead and cast on 55 stitches onto the, and I believe these are the 7. I can just barely read that there's something here, but yeah, these are the 7s. One size down from the ones, I was using 8 on the 4 medium yarn. Was using the, yeah, I think I was. Went down to the set, I think. Anyway, a couple different vanilla sweaters I made with the 4, and then I decided to use the same book and just don't follow any of the patterns in the book. Just use the sizes that they said to use for the starting numbers. And then I trialed and errored it, and I liked it, so I'm just doing the vanilla raglan increases. And then they also had a whole bunch of buttonholes, and I decided to just do 3. So the first one is on row 4. The second run is on 10 rows later, which is 14, and then on row 24, and that's it, just the 3 buttonholes. As you can see, I'm already to the point where I put both of the sleeves on a holder, and I was using just waste yarn for this, but then I thought, well, I have these holders, I might as well use them. But you know, so now I'm just knit for the body. And that's how far. But see how these stripes came out? In fact, it seems as though this section is the biggest. It's almost a, I don't know what you would call this. It's lavender, but it's not. It's kind of a different color, but I did go ahead and use the pink for the cuff, and I'm not using it for the band. I just decided, no, let's try it this way. So when I get to the bottom of the sweater, I will do a cuff of 6 rows down at the bottom, And then when I get to the end of the sleeves, I'll do 6 rows of the pink on each of the sleeves. So that's how far that's come a long way in just a very short time. And of course, I like this pattern, this vanilla pattern, so much because every time I do it, it looks like a different sweater because of the color. Yeah, so, oh, I didn't know I was in a purl row. Yeah, anyway. I was going to work on a row here. Now I got to sit here and do a purl row on camera. But you do the band, you start out with 4 knits every row. And that makes that ribbing on the band. And then the rest is stockinette, which is knit 1 row, purl back. And I'm happen to be on the purl back, so of course I am. I'm going to sit here and do a whole entire row of purl standing up under the camera. No, I probably am not going to. But as you can see, I've come up with this way of purling that I have accepted as my way of doing it. And I know it's probably not the regular way that everybody does, but I've found that the way that I'm doing it, I have come up with a good tension, and it's almost exactly the same as my knit tension, so that's what's important. And it's all basically not in the beginning of the stitch, it's in the next one where I pull a little bit. I tug just a little bit to make that the stitch that you just finished. I tug it afterwards before I do the next one, and that's where the tension's coming right here, right there. And basically that it's working out for me. My hand doesn't hurt as much trying to hold the yarn up like I do in crochet, so it's just laying here and it doesn't fall because it's wrapped around my pinky. So when I need it, it's right there and I can just grab it. It's very different than I've seen other people do, but yeah, it's either this way or I don't purl. Yeah, so I'm going to make a blanket to match this eventually. I haven't started it yet, but it will be a granny square style. It's just not your original granny square stitching. No, I mean it's similar. I really like the blanket. I've made it a few times and I decided that I was going to use that pattern for this one. So that ought to be quite pretty. I probably will not sell them as a set, because somebody ordered a girl's set, sweater set, and she did not order a blanket. So the blanket probably won't be going with the same set. But I have the yarn out, I might as well use it rather than put it away and then, forget I have it. That's a normal thing around here. You see what's right in the front row, and anything that's in a bin or in the back row gets forgotten until you start looking around and, oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. Oh, I remember that. What was I going to do with it? I know some of you can relate to that. Oh. All right, well, Stephanie and I did our first live the other day, and it was fun. It was very much fun. We started our cuddle along. If you haven't seen that, that is No Filter number 19, I believe it is. Well, it's the last one on the playlist, so it's the one we did Tuesday night. And we posted our challenge for this year's cuddle along. It'll run through June. You can make any 3 items. They need to be baby themed. You can do 3 sweaters if you want to, or you can do a sweater, a hat, booties, loveys, whatever way you want to do it. You can do 3 different colorways. You can do a blanket and a sweater to match. Any way you want to mix and match that set. But there needs to be 3 items to finish for the challenge. So 3 items done from now until June is the plan. But if you have just progress photos you want to post throughout until the end, those progress photos will get you into the random drawings from the, you know, the 2 videos we should be doing in between the finals. So that's exciting. We love that. Prizes are to be announced as we go. That's how we usually do it. And I did get all the way through this row because I was gabbing. You go down to the last 4, and then you switch back to knit for the last 4. And I got to get more yarn out here, and of course it came out like this. Okay. And then you just knit the last 4 for the band. And it is done flat, so I'm doing it on circulars, but you would never know because it's long enough to just, it doesn't like curl back on itself or anything. So that's fun. Like I said, I haven't picked out the buttons yet that I'm going to use on this one, but I think I might use some pink ones. I might not do anything fancy with them, or I think I might have some pink bunnies or something like that I will put on here. I don't think I have any pink bears, but I do have, well, I'll have to see. All right, I think I'll put this one away and take something else out and start. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Now in this bag, this is the bag from Ravini, and I have my cake of skinny cakes way down in there at the bottom. I set it down in there and I have not taken it out. And you can see that I am quite far on the cake. So my plan is to finish this shawl today. This is the shawl that we were working on together on the live. So I'm going to put this back over here. And I don't have much left to go. Oh, and by the way, earlier in the video, you will see me talk about this needle set, and I couldn't remember the name of it. It's the Mindful set. It has 10, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it has 8 of these little 10-inch sets, and that runs from, let's see, it runs from the biggest size is a 6, 4 millimeter, and goes all the way down to a 2 millimeter. So that was, my intention was to buy this for my socks, so I could make socks, and I am. But I was also thinking that you can do small things like cuffs, and when they said 64 stitches in that hat, I figured that I would try it on there, because heck, why use DPNs if you don't have to, right? So that is the set I was talking about earlier, and I know that a lot of you knew that because you've been with me long enough to know. So here is my front of my work, and that's the shawl in this gorgeous raspberry ganache skinny cake. Skinny cake is Karen, 795 yards on these. So I just figured that I would do the shawl however big it would come out with the pattern. So I'm using a J hook on this one because I wanted it to be as big as and drapey as I could get it. So where are we here? Here we are. I am on the, let's see, I am on the single crochet row on the back side. So now I was telling you that if you put a project keeper or whatever on the correct side, the right side, which I did, then when you pick your work up, anytime you pick it up, you'll know that if you're on the wrong side, you are on a single crochet side, because every other row is a single crochet row, and it's on the wrong side of your work. So that's how I know I'm on the single crochet side without even looking for sure. This was intended to grow at each end, so you would only add one stitch on each end of every row, and then just gradually it would just increase until it was big enough. And I really think that this is coming out well. 30-some people doing this project. The winner is going to get one of these skinny cakes in this raspberry ganache colorway, and a little project bag that Ravini donated to the make-along, and then a set of stitch markers I threw in. So this was a big prize. We'll draw that winner tomorrow. I'm hoping that I will have my shawl done. I did quite a bit of rows last night, and I should have it done. But I'm just doing the single crochet row right now. Now my plans are to do until I come to the next repeat, and then make a decision to do the border at that point. I'm pretty sure that will be the choice that I go with. So that would make it, let's see, double crochet row, single crochet row, and then, yeah, so that would only be 3 more rows, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, 3 more rows, and then the border. And this row is a full row still, because I just started it. So 4 rows and then the border. And I think that's perfect for running out of yarn. I don't want to go too far and play yarn chicken, because the border starts right after your fillet row, because you want to put your border into the chain spaces of that row, and it's just 1 row for the border. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed making this one. I know I did. Playing around with the raspberry colorway. It was kind of a little twist that I thought was kind of cute. The next challenge I'm going to be doing with Beverly is coming up. We are going to send each other some yarn and a pattern and challenge each other to make it again. I think we're going to be doing a theme with it too. No, I know we are. I just don't want to share that yet. I want to hold off until we both get our packages mailed out, which I'm going to be picking that out this weekend and deciding exactly what I'm sending her, because I haven't really decided yet. So we'll see about that one. This is a long row. I knew this was going to be quite a row to be doing on this. What stories do I have to tell? We have 2 new horses coming from Texas in a couple weeks. We're buying back a baby that was born at our farm 15 years ago, and she came up for sale, and Mom decided that we should have her, and so she was in foal, and she had a baby since, so they're just waiting till the baby gets a little bit older and can travel, and they will be coming home, so that is kind of exciting. We do have 2 babies planned for this season. One should be born, I think she said within the next 2 weeks she's expecting the first one, and then the other one will probably follow directly after that. So there'll be 3 babies running around all summer. Yeah, I don't spend a ton of time down there, but I do know that people enjoy driving by and checking them out every year. They'll stop and take pictures from their car, and you know, it is fun. This is the row that always is confusing to everyone, and this is a perfect time to show it to you. The row before this was a half double crochet row, and as you come up to your top of your shawl, the point, you will actually have this half double crochet presented to you, and the actual stitch is to the left of the post. So this one is the one that you do go into, and then you'll do your top, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then when you turn, you see this and you think that one needs a stitch, but it's not, because again, your half double crochet has the top to the left of your post, so you want to go in here, not here, but this one, and that'll keep your even amount of stitches, or the correct amount of stitches that you need to be able to do the fillet row correctly. Other than that, it doesn't really matter how many stitches you have on, but you want the right amount to do the fillet row when you come to it. So that is a perfect place to have been to let you know about this. It was my own pattern I came up with, and it was just a simple sampler shawl that I wanted to have simple stitches for everybody to be able to do, and I didn't realize that that half double crochet row was going to be such a stickler for everyone, and I didn't want you to have to count stitches. That was not the plan. But it ended up coming out just fine. The written pattern is in the challenge. If you go on the Facebook group, you will find a challenge for this shawl. It was running for the last 3 weeks on my live, and it is written in there. The border is also written in there, and it will stay there. It will not be pinned to the feature after tomorrow, but you can always find any of the challenges or any of the patterns that I did by putting in keywords into the search in the group, and it will come up. Like if you put in live challenge or something like that, all of the live challenges that we've done will come up. Or shawl or something like that. All right, well, I think I'm going to stop recording this one before I get to the end and pick something else up. And I'll talk to you all soon. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and I did 9 edgings. So what this is this is an update on the creator from the channel's blanket that I am putting together for the 1500 subscriber video. That's what it is. Last time I think I misspoke and I said 2500. No. It is the 1500 subscriber video. So when I hit 1500, I was going to give away this blanket. And what it is it's made up of squares that were sent in from all the creators that were watching at the time and sent them in. So what I'm doing is I am using the Pound of Love. That's quite close. The Pound of Love 4 medium acrylic antique white to sew them together with, and that makes quite a big skein for something like this. So you would, you could put a border on probably. And I think I'm going to end up with 60 or 70 squares. I think 70. I think that's what ended up happening. But anyway, I'm going to go through and show you the ones that I picked out to work on today. And this one, I don't remember whose squares are whose because I did not keep them together. But every single time a package came, I opened them on an addictions video. And a lot of times I used the thumbnail of one of the squares or 2 of the squares. So that way, if you scroll through the last addictions 2021, you will see a lot of these videos where I'm opening these squares. And what I did is today I did 9 so far, and I'm going to do 1 with you. And they are beautiful. They're coming around 8.5 to 9 inch once I put the borders on. And I'm not worried about them being exactly the same. It's not a big deal to me. It's a challenge to be able to take all the different kinds of projects and squares and just add a border and then sew them together later. What I'm going to do is some of the smaller ones I will put on the inside of the blanket, and some of the larger ones I'll put on the outside edge of the blanket. So you're not going to be able to really see, like this one will probably go on the inside. It's a little bit smaller, but this one's like a little bit bigger, but it will work out. I've developed a frog since the last video. All right, so this one is one that I did. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do the border on this one. And it's going to end up being a little bit of one of the bigger ones. Aha. I was trying to see where in the heck did I end up with that edge. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet in the corner. Some of them it's in the actual chain space. Some of them it is not. It's in one. It just depends on the stitch. And then I'm going ahead and I'm single crocheting chain 1 evenly spaced across. That's basically all that I have been doing. Sometimes it's only one space across. Like I'm not skipping a whole space, or a whole stitch, I should say. But it just depends on what pattern it is and where I end up sticking a single crochet. This one has single crochets on the edge, so it's going to be fine. And it may or may not work out at the end to fall into an evenly spaced. This one happens to. But I'm not worried about if it's working out or not. I'm just going ahead and just putting borders on any old way, because whoops, it's basically going to look like they were randomly placed at the end. And then why I'm doing a chain 1 is because I'm planning on putting my edges together, my edges together, using the spaces, so that it'll give it room to breathe and work. You know, like it won't be a real tight weave. I'll be skipping, and I'll be chaining 1 in between the squares. So I'll put a single crochet here in the chain 1, then I'll chain 1, and I'll put one over here on another square over here, and I'll keep going back and forth, back and forth. That's the plan. And so I probably will go all the way down a row and then weave in the ends. And you know, I'm not quite sure if I'll turn corners or what I'll end up doing, but I have it in my head. I know what I want to do. But yeah, this is an update, and I think I've got about 50 of the squares done now. This will be, I have a bag that's separate from the bag that's not done yet. It doesn't have the borders on. Yeah. So I have a story about April Fool's Day that no one played a joke on me. So I can't really say that it was, you know, a prank or anything like that. But I'll tell you what, I had the weirdest day where no matter what I did, I seemed to be playing a joke on myself. So I started the day out making a cup of coffee at home. And the first thing that happened, now the knit girls in the group, they've heard the stories, so they know that I shook the peppermint mocha creamer, and when I did, the lid flew off, and a whole bunch of creamer went on the floor, went on the cupboards, went all over the room, right? So I had to spend time cleaning that up. And I don't know about you, but milk is a pain. Okay, so that, I got that cleaned up. Then I go to work, and it wasn't exactly a calm day. It wasn't crazy, but it was, and then the morning was quite calm. But I went out to lunch because I didn't leave to go to lunch. I left to go to the bank. So I went to the bank, and I drove around and went to McDonald's and went through the drive-thru real quick. And I got a fish sandwich and a small fry. They put it in a bag, and they rolled the top. Well, it was raining. So I get back to the office, and I open the car door to get out, and I have an umbrella, my purse, and the bag, and my keys. Oh, all these things are in my hands, right? So I get out of the car, and I go to, I don't know what in the heck I was thinking, but I wanted to put the umbrella up, and when I did, I dropped the McDonald's bag. Well, guess what? You would think the weight would just drop like this, right? No. It flipped in the air, And when it did, the roll came off of the bag and every single French fry fell out onto the ground. Well, I'll tell you what, I was quite perturbed. And I'm like, okay, what next, right? What next is going to happen? I didn't want to know. But luckily, it wasn't, you know, the worst thing ever. But I was in the restroom, and we have these garbage cans that you push a hinged top in, and it's pretty heavy. Well, normally I kind of use my thumb on the top and then throw the paper towels in it. Well, I don't know what I was thinking, but I reached over and I went like this and pushed it and threw it in all at once with my left hand, and it came back and it's a spring close, and it caught me right across the cuticle on here, and like I was freaking out. That hurts. So I was like, okay, that's number 3. It's got to be number 3. I'm done now, right? What a crazy time. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was my April Fool's Day. I would love to hear if you have any April Fool's type stories that you either pulled a prank or you had any pulled on you, and give me an update on what happened to you yesterday. Oh my. So that is number 10 for the update. And like this little butterfly applique, it is adorable. And then I will close this video down and start another one. And we should be getting close to the end here. I think I've got plans for at least 2 more, I think. I don't know, but it's only 10:30, so I have quite a few done already. Yeah. All right, I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, back again. All right, so this one is my Navajo blanket. Talk about a journey. Okay, this is a Navajo, so we have a diamond pattern that goes throughout this. You can find this pattern free several different places. They have another version of it that's called the Apache Tears. This is not the Apache Tears. This is the diamond. So what you do with this, and this is why I say it's a journey, because of the way it's constructed, you add your fringe as you go. On one side of your blanket, you will start with an end, and on the other side, you will end with an end. And because of that construction, I said, well, this is perfect. You use your scrap yarn. And so it is a long journey. It's been going on now for well over a year. And what I've done is I have saved anything that is long enough from hats, and more hats. So if you look, there's some Premier yarns in here. There is some Red Heart. I think, yeah, every time I look through here, I'm not quite sure exactly which one is which, but this is the marled one. This is the gold basic stitch, I think this one was. And there's some sparkle from one of the Red Heart with Love. And it just, depending on how much there's left, I'll do 2 or 3 rows. Or I'll just do 1 row. And look how it breaks it up. And then you come out with this gorgeous piece. And you just put your scraps on when you have some. Obviously, I have a bag of scraps that are not on here. But all the way through, like this is one of those, I think this is a Lion brand tweed of some kind. But all the way through, it'll change as you go across your blanket. You'll see different parts, wherever the diamond falls. And I just think it's really cool. And so I've been keeping it in the background on my videos behind me. And every now and again, I'll take the background down. And yeah, some of them do have some, that was a wool. I think I did superwash wool or something, and there was a fiber in there. That was not a hair. But I like the idea of using things that I used in the past. So here's one from this last month's hats and more hats. I'm going to go shut the door because I have a little dog, as you well know, and when it's the weekend and Dad isn't paying attention to her, she needs to whine at the front door, and the front door is not far from my room that I'm in, and she won't stop no matter what we do. So it's just her telling Dad, you know, you should be upstairs, not down in the garage, not out in the barn. So I'm just going to shut the door and hope that it's not as loud as it sounded to me. Anyway, this is left over from the March hats and more hats, and it's pretty colorful. So, and it is a 4. Most of the yarns I've been putting in here are 4s. There are a couple that are a little bit bigger of a 3, and I just go about 5 to 6 inches and start with a long tail. And then I just go by the pattern wherever I am in the pattern. I usually start with a single crochet in the top of the first one, and that is through both loops. And then I actually start the pattern. So the pattern is done in the back loop only as you go across to your diamond. And I don't usually look and see where I am in the diamond until I get closer. And as you can see, now we are in where we are closing one of the diamonds up. So you're going to go till you get to the inside of the diamond, and then you're going to do a double crochet down one row, catching that back loop from that row below. And then you're just going to keep going across. And these are all the diamond in between are even or are uneven numbers. So this one should have 7 single crochets. And then another overlay in the row below. And that is your pattern. And then you will go on the beginning of the next diamond. So this one goes across until, yeah, it's really kind of easy once you get going. You can just pick it up at any point and just start your pattern by looking at where you are. And I love it for scraps because I never thought I would, but I love it for scraps because of the fact that as long as you have a piece of scrap long enough to go across your blanket, then you're good. So yeah, I had to share an update on this today because I am doing a couple rows on it. I have not done any, I don't think, in 2022 on this blanket yet until today. I think most of it was last year. But yeah, I think this blanket is going to be 2 years old coming up here. And you know, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I do not mind having ongoing whips because of that's just the way I am. I know there are a lot of people who cannot handle having more than one whip, although there are some people that will do one or two, like an easy one and then more complicated pattern. But that's all they'll have. They won't have like 10 or 12 like I do. In fact, I have project bags that I hardly ever look at in one place that have old whips in them, and I have another place that are kind of ongoing, and then I have the ones that are ongoing all the time. So I do have like 3 spots that I keep my ongoing whips. But I just don't mind it. I wish I had more time in the day to do a row here, do a row there on more of them, because then all of a sudden you look and you're like, oh my gosh, I've only got a couple more rows on this, right? And you're excited. Oh, like, let's just finish it now, Yeah. Right now, I only have 2 orders that I'm working on. One is taking forever because it's that Tunisian. And one is a new baby sweater set that I just had ordered, which you've seen earlier in the video. That is in order. So, the booties are done for it already. And the sweater is I say it's half done. But it's not, I don't think, quite halfway. But it is ordered for the end of April, so I'm on time with it. She didn't give me as much time as she usually does. With those, she usually gives me 2-3 months heads up. But she didn't, and I said, wow, it's only 1. It's not like you ordered 3, because sometimes she does that. She'll order 2 or 3 because she finds out that her family's going to have several grandchildren all at once or something, and she'll be like, oh, I didn't know this one, I kind of think she's catching up with them, and then she'll tell me, oh yeah, I didn't know that this one was pregnant, whatever. But she always orders something, and she's one of my biggest customers, so I don't mind once in a while to have to hurry and do something for her. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and turn the video off on this one. Take a little rest. I'm going to try and do 1 or 2 more today, and then I will edit this and get it uploaded. So I'll talk to you in a minute. All right, I am back with a knit item. Now this I showed on no filter, and I'm not going to be showing it finished on here or anything like that, but I did want to show you that I am working on a sock. I am using the Christmas sock that I got from Hobie. It is 75% wool, 25% polyamide. This comes in 459 yards, and it almost looks like I haven't even touched it. There is quite a good gaping hole, though. So I decided to use my Mindful set of the size that the Crazy Sock Lady uses in her 9-inch circular tutorial. I'm doing it exactly the way that she tells you to, because I've only made 1 other sock, and that was her pattern. And so I did it exactly the way she says for 64 stitches, which is the medium. And she told you to work 20 rows, and then she told you to work well, she did a long one, so it's 60 rows total, but on the 60th row is the row that you actually start your heel. So that is 60 rows, and I did put in the stitch markers every 10 rows that she said to do. And then when I got to the 60th row, which would be 10, I did the heel, and I didn't put a stitch marker in there. I continued on and did the pattern the way she says to do it throughout this arch. And then after I started back with the 64 stitches again, then I did a stitch marker at the, actually right at the beginning of that 64 stitches. So as soon as I hit 64, I put one in, and then I put 110 again. That way, when you go to do your second sock, you can check to make sure that you are where you are without having to count anything a second time. This is your beginning of round stitch marker, which was the beginning around here. Changed it to the back of your heel when you were halfway through, and then at the end of the decreases you will change it back again. So yeah, I think that's coming out pretty good for my second sock ever. And I just wanted to show you that I do enjoy this 10-inch set. Now, I did the other sock that I made, which has to be finished, in the 9-inch. I'm thinking that it was a different size than the one in my hand, so I'm going to probably transfer that one over to one of these 10 inches if I have, you know, when I check the size, if I have one that size and don't have to use the same one. But yeah, I'm on the foot part now, and I just thought I'd bring it on here real quick and show you that I am enjoying this color and this whole process of making this sock. Now all I want to do is cast on every single colorway I can think of to see how it's going to work up into a sock. Most likely, though, I will be, after this one, I will be casting on a DK sock, because she has a free DK pattern that I printed out off of Ravelry for that, and I'm just collecting DK sock yarns at the moment. But, you know, it is fun to do that too. I am a collector. All right. Well, while I was having lunch, the mailman came. So I do want to open some mail with you on this video. But for right now, I will put the caps on here and show you the choices that I picked out for tomorrow's video. It's the live video, and we're going to be making a lovey together. And I wanted to show you what I picked out, so that if you feel that you want to do the same, you could. I'm going to be using a hair tie, an H hook, which I didn't bring the H hook out here, but an 5mm hook. And there's my little lovey bear. This is the softest bear. Oh my gosh, he is so soft. And I'm using pink, so it's okay. And I'm also going to be putting on a teething ring on this lovey. The yarn that I'm going to be using is the two that I've been using in the beginning of the video. I'm going to be using the pink and the variegated blossom colorway. And like I said, an H hook. So I'm hoping that you will join me tomorrow and make the lovey. There will not be a drawing for the challenge to make the lovey. there will be instead maybe you might want to enter your lovey into the cuddle along that Stephanie and I are doing together. So that's why I thought I would do this. It's just a one-day project, a palette cleanser, and I'm hoping that all of you will join me tomorrow for that. All right, so now we get on to the Yarn Club, Outlander, Lolo Did It Yarn Club. This is the March Club. It just came in the mail today. And if I'm doing my math right, there is one more month left in the Outlander Club from Lolo Did It. I did do that for a whole year. And this is the 11th month. I do believe that is correct. So here is your subscription. The way that it comes with an invoice. The club cost was $32. It was $28 plus shipping, so mine was $32.83. So it was based on where you were living for your shipping. And this is the March, so that does not surprise me that it is a beautiful green. Oh my gosh, is it gorgeous. Now, I gotta say that the last 3 or 4 months would be able to go together very well. I will show you a couple of the months here in just a minute, but I want to pull this out. It always came in a sleeve every single month. This says, a Highlander in full regalia is an impressive sight. Any Highlander, no matter how old, ill-favored, or crabbed in appearance. A tall, straight-bodied, and by no means ill-favored Highlander in the prime of his life is breathtaking. And I don't know about you guys, but if you watch this like the knit girls and I do, you will think that I'm watching it for a glimpse of dear Jamie, because he is something of a beautiful bodied person. Let's just go there. All right, here is your colorway. It is a DK yarn that I don't know if there was a choice, but I would have chose the DK. They give you a website you can order from, all kinds of different yarns to order from there. They ask you to hashtag Lolo Did It, and when you open your package, this is called the Highlander colorway. It is a DK weight, and it is superwash merino wool, 100%. So that is month number 11. I'm going to go ahead and put a few of the months down in front of the camera so that you can see what I mean about how close these are this last couple months. Each month got a little bit different tone. This one was February. It's going to be crinkling, but it's worth it. This one was Craig the Dune, I believe, was January. And the reason why I don't know is because I took the label off. And I shouldn't have. And then the December one I don't know why I took that label off. I probably have it right here on the side of my computer, so we'll get to that one. But this one is the December one. See how they're really close? I think that a blanket made out of these is a great idea. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't give any more away than I did. I think I gave away 1 or 2 This one was November. Yeah, I don't think I could fit another one on here. Maybe. Let's go and see. Although I think there's a chance. Did I give one? Okay, no. They're blue now. There's 2 blue ones. October and September were blue. But that doesn't mean you can't put these together, right? Then we had I have May here, which is a little bit maroon. There you go. And then this month, and I again don't have the label to tell me what month this is, but there is 7, 8, 9 of them. So I believe I gave away 2, 10 and 11. I'm gonna say I probably gave away June, possibly. Not sure. But I have 5, 9 of them right now. And I'm thinking that they might go very well in a blanket. So that is March's colorway. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take a moment out of each day and be creative, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.